Hey there, and welcome to Fat Daniel's Barbecue. And let me start with an apology. Sorry that we've not posted any videos for a little while, but as you can see, we've put a lot of work into expanding and updating our outside cooking area. So, we're back, and we're going to start with a techniques video. Today, I'm going to show you my top tips for cooking the perfect steak. Now for this, you're going to need a 2-zone cooking environment. That doesn't mean you need to do it on a barbecue. You can do it inside using the hob and the oven. For the hob, you're going to want to use a heavy bottomed pan or skillet. If you have one, use one with raised bars, a griddle pan like this. But if not, the heaviest bottomed pan or skillet you've got, and the oven will get you through no problem at all. I'll now show you how to set up the dual zone cooking area in my various barbecues. So with the gas barbecue, I'd be setting these burners on maximum, and I'd be doing my direct cooking and searing on here. These burners I would leave off, and this would be my indirect cooking area. With a kettle grill or horizontal barrel barbecue, I'd rack my coals to one side or to the front or back and cook directly over the coals wherever they happen to be, and the other side becomes your indirect cooking zone. And if you've got a Kamado oven, you want to bank the coals to one side and put your cast iron grates, if you've got them, over the coals. This is your direct cooking area. On the other side, install a heat deflector, put grills up high, and this is your indirect cooking area, giving you 2 zones. So the first thing you're going to need to cook the perfect steak is the perfect steak. And this is a little something special that I got from my local butcher, Chapman's. This is a sirloin steak from a rare breed Spanish dairy cow. And as you can see, the marbling on that is just insane. So the important thing to remember is that steak is a treat and you don't have it every day, so buy the best steak you can get. Make sure that it's good and thick. You may not want to eat all of this, but you need the thickness of steak. You want nothing less than 1 inch, ideally 1.25 inches to 1.5 inches thick, so that you can really get a good sear on it without the risk of overcooking. Right, the second really most important thing is, don't take this straight from the fridge. There are all sorts of videos where they can say, season it up and pop it back in the fridge until you're ready. No. The most important thing with cooking a steak is to cook it from room temperature. So take it out of the fridge at least 20, ideally 30 minutes before you're ready to cook. Okay, so these have been out. They're nicely up to room temperature. So the next thing is seasoning. Now I'm going to oil these first. This will help stop them stick and also impart a little bit of flavour. Again, always oil the food, not the pan or the grates. And the other most important thing is, if you're using an oil, use one with a high smoking point, like a groundnut oil. Do not use olive oil because that has a low smoking point and will burn under the searing conditions. Similarly, if you're going to use an animal fat, use clarified butter or ghee rather than regular butter, or as I'm using here, a goose fat. Right, so with it oiled, now I'm just going to season. Here I'm using some of my Dixie dust, which should add just the right amount of salt, pepper, garlic and deliciousness to make these steaks truly special. Now, you can be quite generous with this because these are big bits of meat. So, there we go, look at that. Lovely jubbly. So we've got our barbecue up to temperature. We're just looking for something that's searing, smoking hot on the grates or the pan if you're using a pan. And you're looking for 225 to 250 centigrade, which is about 450 to 500 Fahrenheit on the indirect side. So, without further ado, let's get these bad boys on the grill. I'm going to start off putting some of my sides on. So here are some portobello mushrooms I prepped up with just a little butter and some seasoning. Cook these steaks one at a time. So let's get the first one on. Get it down there, close the lid. And that's going to cook for 90 seconds. And in we go. And all we're going to do now is turn that steak through 90 degrees. And close up again. So 90 seconds later, it's time to turn the steak over. As you can see, we've got some lovely sear marks on that. And again, turn that through 90 degrees. And another 90 seconds. And then we take it off and onto our indirect cooking. Oh, before we do that, just sear up that side a little. Beautiful. Right. That's on there. Now we're going to put in a meat probe. And put our second steak on. Here we go, these have been resting now for a little over 5 minutes. Now the reason that I cooked them separately was because we're doing one medium and one medium rare, and the longer or longer cooked or more well done you want your steak, the longer it needs to rest. So here we are, look at those fantastic resting juices. Next top tip, if you're making a sauce to go with the steak, definitely add those juices to the sauce. So this one, he says, should be our medium rare steak, and this should be our medium. So, proof of the pudding and all that. Oh, look at that. Beautifully medium. And the medium rare. Superb. So, my guide to the perfect steak.